Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. So today I'm gonna show you my November TBR. It is quite ambitious and quite long, and it's not even like the amount of books that I want to read, but the thickness of the books. Like a lot of these books are like over 500 pages, which thanks to A Court of Soul Flames I have lost kind of my fear of big books, but still it is quite a lot of big books. But anyways, this month obviously it's November, it's the end of the year, which gives you a lot of pressure to like finally read all your books that you have been wanting to read before the year ends. And I've just got a lot of thrillers with me and also a lot of fantasy books. I'm just trying to try new genres out of romance books, so that's been quite fun. Anyways, let's go, and I'm going to start with all the spoilers that I want to show you. And one is If We Were Villains by ML Rio, which has the scary bird on the picture, which is just very disturbing. But yeah, it's about a guy who was convicted of murder, but then he's released, and then I think the detective who has arrested him is trying to figure out what really happened because he isn't sure if it really was him. I'm not quite sure if it is actually Dark Academia or not, because I think it is, but I'm not quite sure. So I don't know a lot about this book, but I'm excited to read it, and it seems perfect for like fall and November, and a little bit scary. I mean, the bird is just really throwing me off, but it's okay. The next thriller slash cozy mystery that I want to read is The Thursday Murder Club, which has been on my TBR, and especially my physical TBR, for so long. I think since like May or something, and I just wasn't really like in the right mood to read it. And also now like there has been 2 more releases of the book, like a second and third book, and I have a weird thing where when I start a book I need to read all of them after each other consecutively because it just looks prettier on my Goodreads, which is very toxic of me. So I'm trying to break that, and hopefully with this one I will, unless I really love them and I need to read them, but we'll see. Kind of don't want to buy a lot more books this year because I don't know when I will be able to read them, but that's a book. I think it's very like a cozy read because it's about like a murder, but it's also really fun, I think. And I've watched I've watched it on Disney Plus, but I think it's from Hulu or something. Only Murders in the Building, and I really enjoyed that one, and it was also with old people, so I'm excited to read this. I'm looking forward to it, and it also seems really cozy, and I just want to get it read. Then the last kind of thriller book that I want to read this month, in November, is The Silent Patient. I finally bought it. I didn't buy it for such a long time because I hate the UK version, but I didn't want to wait any longer, so I just bought it. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I feel like at this point everybody else has read it, and I just heard a lot of good things about it and like about the big plot twist at the end, so I'm quite excited to read it. And yeah, excited to get my hands on it. And also it's like about a woman who shoots her husband and then doesn't speak, and it's I think out of the therapist's point of view, who's trying to figure out what actually happened. So it's gonna be quite interesting. Then moving along to fantasy, which is quite a big step and very ambitious, but we'll see. And also a lot of fucking thick books. But I want to finally read The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue. Also I feel like it's just one of these books it's just one of those books that everybody has read and I haven't, so I'm finally reading it, and it is so thick, like I think 500 pages almost, and the font is tiny, and it's such a huge book, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to read it, and it seems to be very interesting. I think it's like about a girl who doesn't die, like she's just, or it's like cursed that she just doesn't die and lives through all the years, but is like invisible, like nobody remembers her. And I think she's trying to be remembered, so it should be quite interesting. And it looks very pretty. Then another book that's, I think it's just been released or something, and I haven't I don't really know what it's about because I want to go in as blind as possible, but it's Babel. And I'm so excited to read it. And it's the only hardcover that I own because I didn't want to wait for the paperback. So that's quite exciting. And yeah, it looks really good. It's like, I think it takes place in Oxford, which is a little bit different than all the other books because the other books are also all American, I think. So that's quite cool. And it's again dark academia and I think a little bit of historical fiction. So it's like all the genres, I feel like. So it sounds really fucking interesting. And perfect for November. So that's quite interesting. And I haven't read The Poppy War. I didn't even know it was from the same author. But if I like this, I could potentially read The Poppy War in 2023. We'll see. Then we got one of the most famous books from BookTok, I feel like, and that is The Atlas Six. And I love the cover, it's so fucking amazing. And I think it's again dark academia kind of vibe. It's about 6 magicians and they're living in like one secret society or something. And that just seems very interesting to read. And I think it plays in the real world just with the magicians. So that's something different. And yeah, I'm quite excited to read it. Also, I have bought The Atlas Paradox, that is also on my November TBR. About that book, I know even less. I just know a lot of people have read this book and then immediately wanted to read the next one, so I thought why not buy both of them. So yeah. Also, I was surprised how thick these books were. I thought they were a lot smaller, but they aren't. But that's good. Exciting. Then another fantasy duology that I want to start reading is Dance of Thieves and Wild Thieves. I feel like everybody is currently reading those and they get like almost no negative reviews, or I haven't heard any, so I'm really excited to read both of them. I did get the UK and the US version, and I will return this book, so I got the UK version so they fit together better. So I'm gonna wait until I get the other one so I don't ruin the one that I need to send back. But otherwise I will read these hopefully this month, and I'm so excited to read them. And I love the cover and I love everything that I heard about it. I think it's about, I don't really understand what it's about from what it says on the back, but I love that there's like a map inside. I love those. And I think it looks a bit like the US, but I'm not quite sure. And I think what I've heard about it is that it's a little bit like enemies to lovers, so I love that. And I'm really excited to read those. A lot of people said they couldn't read any other enemies to lovers romance books because these were so good. So we'll see. And then another trilogy that I want to finally read this month is The Inheritance Games. I've been wanting to read these for so long, but then The Final Gambit came out and I thought, you know, I'm just gonna wait till it really comes out so I can read all of them together as one. And now I'm just waiting for the third book to arrive, and when it's there I'm gonna start reading those, and I'm so excited to read them. And I love the covers, and I'm so excited for The Final Gambit to finally arrive. I've been waiting for it for quite a while. And yeah, I read Truly Devious earlier this year, so I love that one, and I think it's pretty similar to that one and to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I've read all of these, so I feel like that's the one that's been missing, like those trilogy, so I'm really excited to read some YA mystery with a love trilogy, I think, a love triangle, so that's interesting. Yeah, the books are about a girl who gets a big inheritance from somebody she doesn't even know, but to get the actual inheritance, I think she has to live with their Hawthorne family, who actually would have gotten the legacy from their grandfather. And everybody just tries to figure out why this random girl got the inheritance and not the actual family. Yeah, seems quite interesting. Pretty sure everybody else has read it before me, but that's okay. And the only real rom-com that's on my TBR for this month is Set on You, which I bought in summer. I just didn't get around to read it, but I think it's a rom-com for all year round and a good palate cleanser, and I just want to read it because it's about gym love, and when I finally get back to the gym, I definitely feel like it would be the right thing to read. And it just seems quite quick. It just seems quite cute and interesting, so I'm excited to read this. But yeah, those are all my physical books that I want to read this month, and now onto some Kindle Unlimited books that I want to read this month, just because I always want to read like 1 or 2 Kindle Unlimited books, so I just get the most of my subscription. And on my list this month is to finish the Dirty Air series, which I started last month. I didn't quite love it. It was okay. It was just really getting repetitive after the second book, so I didn't want to read the third and fourth book because they seemed also similar, so I took a little bit of a break. But I really want to finish them before the end of the year. We'll see how it goes. And I also want to read Indigo Ridge and the other 2 books in the series, because I think they are quite fitting for fall, like a small town romance in Montana. Seems very interesting. I feel like a lot of people are also reading them right now, and they're Kindle Unlimited, so we love obviously that. And so I want to read these 2 books, and no, these 2 series. Maybe we'll see how much I read of these 2. And then the last book I want to read on my Kindle, which is really high on my TBR for this month, because if I don't read it, I feel like this month, I'll wait another year, and I just want to read it because it seems so interesting. And that's Layla by Colleen Hoover. I feel like everybody also has read it or wants to read it this fall, and I didn't get around to read it in October, so I just want to read it in November. And yeah, I heard a lot of mixed reviews about it. It's a little bit like Verity, I think, but with a paranormal subplot, I think. I don't know. And yeah, it seems quite interesting. Yeah, I love that, obviously. And also another rom-com that I forgot to tell you about that I want to read on my Kindle, which might be a lot of books, we'll see, is the Dead Romantics, which I've heard also a lot of things about currently, and it just fits the fall vibes. Obviously with October it would have fitted really well, but also didn't get around to read that one, so I want to read it in November. And it's not on Kindle Unlimited for me. I don't know if it's like that in the US, but I think it's currently at like 99 cents, so very cheap. I thought if I have the time I will read it, but I definitely want to prioritize my physical TBR. So yeah, those are the books that I want to read this month, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, this video. And I want to make obviously a lot of reading vlogs for most of these books, and yeah, I feel very excited about the new month and about fall and just, yeah, I can't believe it's almost Christmas and then the new year. Crazy. I don't know how that went, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope I see you in the next one, and love you guys.